All right, welcome to this episode of Real Estate Chat. We missed you, and I'm sure, or at least I'm hoping you missed us. We are John Der Perez and
Robert Eid.
welcome. So, Robert, we're trying to
Yes.
describe this episode, and you came up with what?
Well, it was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
And
those-
exactly what does that mean?
Okay, it means it's two things at once. The world is comprised of two different people, two different bunches of people. The first group think everything is going to go up, up, up in a big whoosh, and so they're buying. And then the other group think everything is going to go down, and so they're doing nothing. And then when you switch it around, there's buyers that think that everything is going to go down, so they're selling now, and sellers who think it's going to go up, and so they're not. And so you got two opposites happening at the same time. And there's no point trying to make sense of it. You just have to read what it says and
what's the
govern
reason?
yourself accordingly, whether you're a buyer or a seller, whether you're compelled, whether you're not compelled. If you're a registrant, then you have to be very patient.
And the reason this is happening? Transition in the market, change in sentiment. I mean, things were going along just fine. And in our previous episodes of Real Estate Chat, which of course you've watched and you've liked and you've subscribed, we saw the price charts, and we're going to revisit them today, just skirting above what happened last year for the rest of the year. And even though sales are still down, prices are dipping, active inventory and new listings are also down. What can we attribute this to, Robert, before we go into your charts here?
Well, this is the most poignant question that you've just asked, because we have sales down, off by 21%, 22%. Listings down by 30%. And yet, everybody thinks prices are going up. Everybody thinks the market is hot. Because if you are trying to buy something, unless you want to buy something that's lousy and overpriced, if you're trying to buy something that's competitively priced and in an A1 location, which is what everybody wants, that's where the market is hot. So why would it be not hot there? And that's all we're seeing is the hot is hot. And the average is nowhere and the bad is dead. And so that's why sales are so far below the average. That's why inventory is so far below the average. And that's why new listings are so far below the average, because anybody who's not keenly interested in making a move is not doing so.
The best and the worst. And let's look at your charts to show that, starting here with the MLS sales from 2006 up until today. What are we seeing?
We see that we're experiencing the 20th best April. Never mind compared to March, never mind compared to January, never mind compared to December, never mind seasonally adjusting it. It's the 20th best April. So that's lousy, but it's better than we've seen recently.
And that's sales.
Yeah. Okay, now this is the other side of it. This is new listings. Now, new listings have been said to be coming out around 11,000. That's the blue line for the last couple of months. And let's say it's true. Maybe it's really only 9, but that's what they're calling it, 11. That's fine, except that's 33% below what it should be in April. So no listings, diminished number of buyers. They're fighting over the diminished number of listings. And so what happens when you have short supply? Prices go up. And it's not the whole market. It's just the best stuff. The best stuff is moving. The rest is not. Sorry.
And what's the interesting part about this, we're going to get to in a moment, but the active inventory we're looking at is it's still a tale of inventory, tight supply in the marketplace. So tell us about this.
Well, you can see that inventory is going up, which means a slightly few more new listings are coming every month than the ones that are being sold. And so inventory is ticking up, but it's not roaring. It's 32% below what it should be for April.
So what's the price story of this? So we saw on the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board market report, which we'll link here on the description, that prices are down 7.8%, keeping in mind that, and your chart will show a dip of 8.06%. Keeping that in mind, we're seeing that we're just skirting above previous year's price. Well, not previous year we're below, but where do you see prices headed moving forward from here? So this is 2021. We avoided dipping below it. Are we going to see this crossover at some point, or are we just going to continue a steady, flat growth? And hopefully
Well,
you'll be.
what's the pattern for a year? What's the pattern for a year? Never mind 2022. What's the pattern for a year? It goes up in the spring, it fades in the summer, and it goes up again in the fall round. So will we see that again? Yeah, probably. You know, go down about 5 years and pick a line. There's a green line down there. This is April 25 above it. We'll go further down to get a normal year. Just a green line there in the middle. And it's just, it goes up in the spring and it goes down in the summer a little bit and then it goes up again. So there's the pattern. So the only difference is prices are twice what they were then. But yeah, I think, and we'll get to maybe the one for 2 years another time, but we had a boom and now we got gone back to normal. Like we have interest rates at 4 or 5%. 4 or 5% is not bad. If you have inflation at the same level, then that's still almost the same thing as when you had 0% inflation and 0% financing, or 2% inflation and 2% financing. It's net zero, but the payments are higher, and everybody's squeezing on the down payment requirements and all this stuff. So it's different. You know, prices at over $1 million average. It's different, but it's the same. The real estate business is the same as was in 1955, 65, 75, 85, 95. And 2005 with a few hiccups in the middle. So
Fair to say that this is going to be the new levels of price expectations, price growth. I mean, we don't see any reason for interest rates to drop anytime soon in the near future. They may be, to quote somebody who said it, they may be at these levels for a very, very, very long time. And what does that mean to somebody who's, somebody who's looking to sell, Robert? Because we go through this almost every single episode based on what's currently happening here. Should they just keep waiting? Because I mean, prices are bound to go up again in the fall. And for somebody who's looking to buy, I mean, with inventory still being at very competitive levels, there may be a little bit of a lull in market activity now. But mind you, that's probably because we're leading up to almost end of spring market, starting of the summer market. What do you think?
well, until there's the glut of listings that I thought was going to be happening in March, April, it didn't happen. Graham is not selling. So until there's that glut of listings of people who are compelled to sell, then you're going to have it like now. You're going to have prices gradually appreciating and intense action on a smaller segment of the market. Instead of having 11,000 units trading a month, you're going to have 7. Now, is there anything wrong with 7? No, only that we got used to much higher. Our price is going to drop down, not unless there's a catastrophe. There's a catastrophe in the United States. There's a weather catastrophe. There's a political catastrophe somewhere. There's a war somewhere. All bets are off. But we're all assuming that that's not going to happen, except for the people who think there's a calamity imminent and are buying silver and gold.
And real estate haters.
Well, and real estate haters, because that's their predisposition. We don't try to convince them.
Some of you don't like that word, but that's, it's just having a bit of fun with it. But anyway, so gist of it is, I mean, active inventory, new listings down, sales down, price down from last year, but up month over month. This is the new reality of it.
I think if you go back to that last sales thing, prices are not down, except from the wild boom.
Yeah.
It's the only thing it's down from. So
Yeah.
if we throw the aberration, or throw out the high, throw out the low, prices are not down. They're doing normally what you see things happen in March or April, one of the months, depending on the weather, depending on whether there's an election, depending on a number of things. You see a price peak in March, April, May every year.
And we may see the peak. So yes, down from last year, but remember, every comparison we've been making on previous episodes of Real Estate Chat have been from peak February, March, April. And so yes, down from last year, month over month, prices are going up. And in terms of where they are going to be in the next couple of months, I mean, time will tell, but it looks like it's going to be pretty stable. And what's holding this up again is tight inventory. Sales are still happening, even though they're down year over year. And so you've just got to look at the reality of, this is it. This is the market. So
that's right. We're still in the economic, political, entertainment, restaurant, everything center of Canada. Canada's not going to die. It could have a slow point. And so there's always a certain percentage of people who do not care what the money is. They have it in cash. They don't care. And it's my notion that the relaxing of the prohibition on foreign buyers had an influence on people who are buying now. And they said, okay, this is my opportunity. They might change the rules again. I'm buying now. And that's why they're buying quality and they're paying cash and they don't care what the interest rates are.
Exactly. And on that note, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Real Estate Chat. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, and you'd like to put in your feedback, feel free to leave us a comment. Make sure you like, subscribe. Make sure you dislike if you don't like what we have said. But thank you for watching Real Estate Chat. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.
To the reservoir. That's French.
Au revoir.